we got to talk about the generational gap in hip hop and what that does to the conversations in hip hop, okay? What made me want to talk about this is this whole conversation around Jay-Z and how he can beat everybody in the history of hip hop in the verses. Clear, no discussion. If you disagree, you don't know hip hop. If you disagree, your opinion on hip hop is invalid. In my perspective, that makes no sense to me. No sense to me. I am not a believer that it is impossible to bring up someone who will challenge Jay-Z in a versus. You will never be able to convince me that. You just won't. Now, what a lot of people attribute, because I posted a tweet on Twitter and everybody getting on my head about it, you know, the sub tweets and all that different stuff, right? They're attributing it to the fact that if you weren't there, if you didn't experience it, then you won't understand. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that totally. I'm okay with the fact that the experience gives you a different perspective on what happened over the course of somebody's career, or how much those hits have, like how much cultural appeal those hits have, right? You had to be there to experience it and see what it did to the landscape of hip hop in order to understand why Jay-Z would beat everybody in the verses. That's essentially the best argument I've heard, the most respectable argument I've heard, right? My issue is this, and this is where I just want y'all opinion on this. I'm 27. So during Jay-Z's run, like his main prime run, I was only able to hear music through, you know, television, video games, going outside, my family, stuff like that. This is where I'm hearing music. I have not yet selected or become the curator of my own playlist, so to say, right? I haven't controlled the music I listen to yet. I just listen to music in a bypassing fashion. So when people say you had to be there to really understand Jay-Z's impact, right? And understand this, I think Jay-Z's one of the greatest of all time. Of course, you got to respect it. But this is what I wonder. Even though I was young during that time, right? And I'm not gonna lie, I heard Jay-Z's music, etc. I didn't feel the impact though, right? But even if you use that argument, how was I able to understand the impact of Tupac? Now, I didn't understand the impact of Tupac until later, so we're not going to say I understand the impact until I was 5. But I remember being 9, right? Being on the school bus, you feel what I'm saying? Hearing Dear Mama on the radio, right? And it giving me a whole different perspective, not only on music in general, but Tupac as well, right? Now I understand because I'm hearing Dear Mama and I'm hearing how much relatability is to this song, how much I relate to this song. And now I understand the impact of Tupac. I didn't even know that Tupac was actually gone yet. You feel what I'm saying? I didn't know that Tupac was dead until later. But my mom was always playing Tupac, right? So I got to understand the impact of Tupac, right? And then you go to 50 Cent. I might not have understood what was going on, but I definitely felt the impact of 50 Cent as a kid. Even though I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what was going on. I just knew it was music. I'm seeing dude in movies. He got a video game. I'm seeing dude in commercials with vitamin water and all this. You feel what I'm saying? So for me, it's like that still, I felt that impact. I felt what 50 Cent was at that time. I felt like even though I didn't know what was going on, I knew 50 Cent was extremely well recognized and important. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not saying I did, but I didn't really fully catch on to the impact of Jay-Z, but I understood what was going on with 50 Cent, right? Even though I didn't really understand what was going on, I knew that 50 Cent was somebody that, you know what I'm saying? I knew that. I knew that his music was being played by everybody I loved, right? That I saw the dude everywhere, right? And it was just like, I felt that impact. And this is at the same time. You feel what I'm saying? Then, even if we talk about a Kanye West and an Eminem, Now, Eminem was somebody I didn't really get to listen to until I went and started doing my own research. Because my mom didn't listen to, my family didn't really listen to Eminem. Only real person that really listened to Eminem was probably my granddad. But nobody really listened to Eminem like that in my family. So when I listened to Eminem, I got to go listen to that on my own time, right? And I understood the impact. I understood the feel. Even when I was younger, he was another guy where I seen Eminem. You see what I'm saying? I seen and heard his songs, but my family was never the ones really playing them. You see what I'm saying? But I still understood the impact and the superstardom of Eminem. Kanye West. I didn't start listening. My mom was listening to Kanye West, but she didn't like Kanye at first. You feel what I'm saying? I didn't think she liked Kanye until probably probably graduation, maybe. But knowing this, I know she loves certain songs by Kanye. So songs like Jesus Walks and stuff, that automatically gave me this guy, boom, boom, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? He raps from the perspective of pushing the word of the Lord, pushing the word of God. I'm in church, so I was able to connect with Kanye West just off of songs like Jesus Walks. I remember the first time I heard Jesus Walks. We driving on the way to, I think it was Home Depot, I believe. I remember the sky was like kind of orange. I remember exactly where I was when I heard Jesus Walks. That was a core memory in my life. You feel what I'm saying? So, and then later on, I could continuously feel the impact of Kanye West. You feel me? This is later, but than the time zone that we talking about with Jay-Z. But I felt the impact of Kanye West. Okay? Even if we move on, Lil Wayne. And I'm talking like, this is before, I'm foul for pulling up this. Hold on. It really don't matter. Lil Wayne is one, you know what I'm saying? Lil Wayne, he got older. You know what I'm saying? We gotta stop judging. You feel what I'm saying? But, whatever. Lil Wayne, even before the Carter 3, etc., I felt the superstardom of Lil Wayne. Now, this was a little later, I think, than Jay-Z's prime run, right? This is like, I start catching on to Lil Wayne, like, I want to say 07, 06 is when I feel like I started seeing Wayne everywhere, hearing Wayne music all the time, boom, 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 all this different stuff, right? This when you start, right around the time you start getting into YouTube and boom, boom, and all the different stuff. So, I'm still going to school and everybody and all the kids listening to Wayne and boom, all this different stuff. So it's like, you feel me? But then you had other guys like, you feel me? You had Jeezy, T.I., Ludacris. Like, I have core memories of all of these guys. All of them. Even guys who were supposed to be less on a scale of greatness than Jay-Z is. I have more core memories and moments with these artists than Jay-Z, right? Even other New York artists like Nas and etc. So I guess my question is like, if I feel the impact, if I'm too young to understand, but I understand the impact of these other guys, am I only too young to understand because I don't understand Jay-Z's impact? I didn't feel Jay-Z's impact at that time? That's all I'm wondering. And I want y'all to genuinely do what you got to do. Call me out. I want to see real perspectives here because I really want to get to the bottom of this conversation. There's a generational gap, and that changes the conversations, right? I never felt the a major impact of Jay-Z's music. A lot of the time, the impact for Jay-Z for me was like Rockefeller, right? I remember my mom, or Rockaware. That's what I'm going to say. I remember my mom getting me like, you know what I'm saying? Boom, boom, boom. So it was a lot of the like, in my experience, you know, I really wish I could redo this video, but you know what? We just going to run with it. In my experience, a lot of the impact that Jay-Z had on my young life was the business stuff. Rockaware, just the certain one-liners and sayings like dirt off your shoulder and boom, boom, all this different stuff. Like, yeah, these are cultural moments, but the songs never had genuine impact for me, right? They never, or even around people, like I always heard people talking about Jay-Z in those moments, But it was like I would never, you know what I'm saying, walk by and catch my uncles or my mom or friends or whatever, or family, friends, parents and stuff like that. I would never catch people just mumbling Jay-Z verses or putting on Jay-Z songs and all this different stuff, or going on TV and seeing Jay-Z in video games and seeing Jay-Z. Like that was never something for me. And that creates a bigger conversation, because now it's like, okay, although that was never for me, right? When do we start talking about where is it? Like, I completely understand if somebody wasn't there. Like, if there was a younger person who's telling me about Kendrick Lamar, right? Knowing that I was there the whole time, right? And I'm not saying from C4 and all that. I went back and did my research, but I'm talking like for the majority of Kendrick Lamar's rise, I had been there with me and the home. We had seen it. We seen it all. We always looking for the underground art. Boom. Kendrick was just the underground, one of the underground guys to us at one point. You feel what I'm saying? We having conversations about, damn, I think Kendrick can, you know what I'm saying, go drop it. Like, you feel me? So my whole thing is, I completely understand if a younger person is like having these conversations about what went on at that time from context of just the history and not the experience. I get that. My problem is, in Jay-Z's case, there were guys who were running at the exact same time as he was, and I didn't know what was going on, but I felt their impact musically. The songs. You feel what I'm saying? That could be, you know what I'm saying? Maybe Jay-Z music is just for grown folks or whatever. But I remember being impacted by these songs in real time. It was never Jay-Z's music that I seen. You feel me? And there's not a lot of people, right? At least that I know or whatever, that are my age or younger, that are appreciative of Jay-Z in that way. And that doesn't mean that Jay-Z is white. That doesn't mean, no, Jay-Z is incredible. But maybe his music just isn't tailored to the youth. And that's fine. But if his music isn't tailored to the youth, and that's the argument, and people are not gravitating towards it as the youth in general, right? Then, you feel me? Then what? What type of conversation are we having now? Because in my eyes, that extends the conversation to if the youth is the youth appreciating your music proof of you transcending the moment? That's what I'm asking. Is the youth that was not a part of your that moment, right? If the youth is appreciating your music, doesn't that mean that you transcended the moment? If the people that weren't there can still say that, yeah, boom, doesn't that mean you transcended the moment? I'm wondering, has Jay-Z's music, his hits, all that different stuff, does it translate to today, right? And for the youth to grasp onto, or for teenagers to grasp onto? I'm noticing as I'm getting older, Jay-Z's music is hitting different, right? And even then, I still don't feel like Jay-Z can beat everybody in the verses. How much of that is to my hip hop knowledge and my validity as a hip hop somebody who speaks on hip hop, right? Versus, I just wonder, like, how much does that play a role? You feel what I'm saying? I would argue that other artists' music might have just stuck and transcended further than Jay-Z's. Which is why you have a lot of arguments where people say it feel like Jay-Z was never the number one guy. Now, he might have been the number one guy to people, but I feel like, has there ever been a moment where Jay-Z was the undisputed best? Like, there's been years where niggas is just the undisputed best. It's nothing to talk about. It is better. You feel what I'm saying? Even though I wasn't there, you could just see in the way people talk about it. Pop 96. You feel what I'm saying? DMX 98. You got Eminem over there in the early 2000s. 50 Cent in the early 2000s. You know what I mean? Wayne in 08, 09. Like, it's just like, you feel me? Even now, you know what I'm saying? You got Kendrick 2012. You got Kendrick 2024. You got Kendrick 2017. Like, you feel what I'm saying? It's like a lot of different layers to Luda. It's a lot of years where guys were cooking, right? And Jay-Z was cooking. But it just seems like even in his battles, like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I just feel like, is it a hit to your knowledge if you don't understand, or is it just speaking to a regional or something like that? You feel what I'm saying? Y'all give me 1 second because I would in this video to go do something, but I wanna finish this conversation. Hold on. All right. So, and that's, I guess that's my whole thing, right? Now, this is another thing I wanted to ask. Is this discussion regional, or is it just hip hop knowledge? That's another thing. There are people that think I'm crazy for saying I would put Ice Cube over Biggie Smalls. Like, but I'm just talking about the totality of what Ice Cube did, from writing for NWA, from having his own classic albums, being politically challenging, right? Challenging the viewer. All these different things. I personally got Ice Cube over Biggie. Now, some people will say that's because I'm from the West Coast. Some people will say boom, boom. But that's just my perspective, right? How much of these conversations are regional and how much of it is it just about hip-hop expertise? Because, I mean, even if we talk about regional aspect, it's not like I don't like East Coast music. I like a lot of East Coast music, right? And there were artists that I just named that impacted me as a child that are East Coast artists from New York. You feel what I'm saying? I feel like even Nas had more If I Ruled the World. I remember what was going on when I first heard that song. I remember how that song made me feel, how that song really had my imagination going. How he was creating an imagination where it's like, yeah, we feed in all the people and we do it, how the world looks differently. Even though I wasn't accustomed to what the world actually looked like yet. Like, Jay-Z has never given me that. Now, that just could just be just me. But I'm just like, if other East Coast artists are doing it, is it just West Coast bias? Or did Jay-Z just not land for me? And why are we pretending that Jay-Z, I don't know. I just feel like, are we pretending that Jay-Z landed for everybody? You feel me? Like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I feel like a lot of the people that have an issue with what I said are probably from the East Coast, probably from New York. Probably, you feel what I'm saying? Like, and I know some West Coast people that's gonna get on me, that's gonna talk about that too. But I'm just saying, Jay-Z wasn't one of the guys that landed in my reality as much as these other guys. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, how much of that is because I wasn't there and I don't know, right? But I remember other people from the exact same time. You feel what I'm saying? There's a generational gap there that I think we got to explore some more. I think I'm going to do some more videos on this. There's a generational gap there. This might be a series. They say it's going to be a series. There's a generational gap there that needs to be addressed, and kind of, it will help us talk about these things in a much better light. In a much better light. Because I think just dismissing my opinion because I wasn't old enough to be there. Like, I seen somebody tweet something like, oh, you had to be outside. Bro, how the fuck was I supposed to be outside? I was 5. I was 5. Yeah, I was supposed to be at the club and dance with everybody to fucking get your dirt off your shit. Like, yeah, that's what I was supposed to do. I was 5. I was 5. And even then, I still knew in the club. What are we doing? That's just so I just want to know y'all genuine opinion. If you were OG in the game on YouTube, boom, 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 react to this and break down what I'm saying. Because I really want to know. I really want to know. Give me your perspective, your real authentic perspective. I got tough skin. I can take whatever y'all got to say, bruh. But just let me know if I'm tripping. All right? Let me know if I'm tripping. Like, comment, subscribe, especially if you're new here, especially if you've been here. I'm going to drop the Discord in the pinned comments. Y'all let me know, bro, because I just find it very interesting. All right? I'm going to catch y'all.